The 2025 Spanish Grand Prix will be more than just a performance test. It will be a revelation. As teams descend on Barcelona, a technical directive threatens to disrupt the grid's competitive order. After months of whispers, suspicions, and video evidence, the FIA's ban on flexible front wings is finally enforced. For others, this could reveal concealed performance trickery. For others, it is an opportunity to recoup lost ground. So who will rise and fall? And what secrets will Spain reveal about the new aerodynamic era? New testing will make it more difficult for teams to deploy front wings that flex under load, potentially lowering drag and increasing top speed. Starting with this weekend's Spanish Grand Prix, the testing procedure for Formula One cars' front wings will be strengthened to limit the amount of allowable bend under load. According to Article 3.15.4 of the F1 technical regulations, the flap regions of the front wings may only deflect by 15 mm under load. This is currently being decreased to 10 mm. Since the 1990s, there has been some interest in aero elasticity. A wing or comparable portion of bodywork cannot be completely rigid under the loads experienced at high speeds, hence some flex is unavoidable. Many teams have taken advantage of this, and continue to do so, by creating parts of bodywork that deform or flex under pressure in a somewhat controlled manner, potentially reducing drag and allowing cars to reach faster speeds. Materials science has advanced to the point where it is reasonably simple to utilize finite element analysis to lay up the carbon fiber sheets in a composite component in such a way that they accomplish the maximum strength and weight while still allowing for a predictable degree of flexibility. As current technical standards mature and gains become more difficult to obtain, tiny aero-elasticity tactics have returned to the menu, prompting periodic clampdowns by racing's governing body. Last year, there was a controversy about McLaren's rear wings, which opponents said were flexing in such a way that the space between the two main planes grew significantly while at speed, reducing drag. The FIA implemented new standards and testing methods to prevent this so-called mini DRS, including high-definition onboard cameras to monitor the rear wings during practice. These were tightened again prior to this year's Chinese Grand Prix weekend. Footage emerged of the McLaren rear wing, appearing to flex during the season opener in Australia, but FIA single-seater director Nicolas Tombazis had already decided on stricter measures during the pre-season test in Bahrain. Changes to the front wing testing regime were approved in January, but their implementation was postponed until the Spanish Grand Prix to provide teams more time to adjust their designs in a highly complicated sector with potentially significant lead times from concept to simulation to build. It is claimed that certain teams, particularly Red Bull, lobbied for bringing the new tests to the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix rather than Spain. This phased approach allows teams to adapt without the need to discard existing components unnecessarily, according to the FIA. These adjustments are aimed at further refining our ability to monitor and enforce bodywork flexibility regulations, ensuring a level playing field for all competitors to promote fair and exciting racing. The main issue with testing is that wing flex cannot be measured when the automobile is driving. Instead, a static load, in this example 1,000 newtons, is given to both sides of the front wing at the same time, with no more than 10 mm deflection allowed. 1 newton is the force necessary to accelerate 1 kilogram of mass by 1 meter per second squared in the direction of the applied force. The smaller rear flaps are subjected to a 60 newton force and can deflect no more than 3 mm at the outboard edge. This prevents excessive flex from being incorporated into the so-called fish plates that link these wing parts to the main plane. Naturally, there has been a lot of speculation and curiosity about who might have been employing such procedures, how much they have benefited, and how much they will be affected by the change in testing laws. Red Bull has regularly and publicly blamed McLaren for wing flexibility. Given that the MCL39 has passed all previous tests, Red Bull's sole option has been to publish video footage on social media to keep the matter alive. And in Barcelona, teams will be required to comply with new testing, which, according to some, might change things up across the grid. "We are working on it for ages now," said Ferrari boss Fred Vasseur in Monaco last weekend. "This can be a game changer for everybody, because we don't know the impact on every single team of the new regulation. We will be focused on this to have better exploitation of the front wing. When asked what changed from his former view that the examinations will remain the same in 2025, Tombazis responded at round 2 in China. With the benefit of hindsight, I would have rather not said that. After the season, we analysed all the data we had gathered with the cameras and so on, and we felt that the trend was that these deflections would continue to increase a lot. We felt that we could end up in the middle of the season with fairly large deformations, and again, a lot of complaints and pressures and so on. So we felt, rather than wait for the middle of the season and so on, let's try to act a bit more decisively early on. Will it have any impact? Naturally, if the advantage of flexible bodywork is as large in practice as it is in principle, any team that takes advantage of it more than others will lose if it is forced to reduce what it is doing. At the same time, everybody who was previously behind the curve now has the opportunity to catch up or improve, allowing the front wing to bend as much as possible while passing the new requirements. But what about the reality? That's actually difficult to tell. Some clubs will argue that this will have a significant influence. Others anticipate minimal change. McLaren, for example, is sure that flexible front wings are not the secret to its success, and the new restrictions for Spain would not slow it down. Given that teams have known about this since the winter, it's probable that some have been testing front wing designs in preparation for the new tests. However, television footage of numerous vehicles, including the Red Bull, reveals that there is a lot of flexing going on. That will continue because total front wing stiffness is not attainable nor intended. It is more a question of how different it is from before, how much it affects different teams, and what, if any, effect it has on vehicle characteristics, tyre use, and overall performance as a result. It's essentially a regulation change, Horner explained. Maybe that will have zero impact on the running order, but it's a change, and it will affect all the teams, maybe neutrally, but there will be an impact from it. Toto Wolff believes Ferrari will rise up the pecking order this weekend once the new FIA technical directive goes into effect. Wolff's Mercedes, along with McLaren, are said to be at the highest risk of performance decline, while Ferrari is expected to move up the order. That was the direction Wolff was following, and while he did not comment on his own team, he did state that he would be paying close attention to Ferrari. I think what we have seen is that Ferrari was probably most conservative on flexi wings, Wolff said in Monaco. What it's going to do on the pecking order is something we need to look at. I'm not sure it will change things, but another angle of curiosity, and I don't know how it's going to go. His Ferrari counterpart, Fred Vasseur, preferred to look at the grid as a whole, claiming it might be a game changer for everybody. While he has not stated it publicly, Vasseur will be hopeful that the regulation change results in a major improvement in performance for his team, which is currently 177 points behind championship leaders McLaren. As the engines start and the cars enter the Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya, the flexi-wing saga becomes a reality. It's the impact. Will McLaren's surge stall in the face of scrutiny? Can Red Bull restore their dominance without McLaren's aerodynamic advantage? Will Ferrari, long silent and cautious, emerge as the genuine beneficiaries of this reset? The Spanish GP will not just crown a winner. It may reveal the entire truth about the season so far. Whatever happens, the figures on the timing panel this weekend will reflect more than simply speed. They will also represent secrets maintained, uncovered, and rewritten.